Chapter 5. Love language number 2, quality time. I should have picked up on Betty Jo's primary love language from the beginning. What was she saying on that spring night when I visited her and Bill in Little Rock? Bill is a good provider, but he doesn't spend any time with me. What good is the house and the recreational vehicle and all the other things if we don't ever enjoy them together? What was her desire? Quality time with Bill? She wanted his attention. She wanted him to focus on her, to give her time to do things with her. Excuse me. By quality time, I mean giving someone your undivided attention. I don't mean sitting on the couch and watching television together. When you spend time that way, ABC or NBC has your attention, not your spouse. What I mean is sitting on the couch with the TV off, looking at each other and talking, giving each other your undivided attention. It means taking a walk, just the two of you, or going out to eat and looking at each other and talking. Have you ever noticed that in a restaurant you can always tell the difference between a dating couple and a married couple? Dating couples look at each other and talk. Married couples sit there and gaze around the restaurant. You think they went there to eat. When I sit on the couch with my wife and give her 20 minutes of my undivided attention and she does the same for me, we are giving each other 20 minutes of life. We will never have those 20 minutes again. We are giving our lives to each other. It is a powerful emotional communicator of love. One medicine cannot cure all diseases. In my advice to Bill and Betty Jo, I made a serious mistake. I assumed that words of affirmation would mean as much to Betty Jo as it would to Bill. I had hoped that if each of them would give adequate verbal affirmation, the emotional climate would change and both of them would begin to feel love. It worked for Bill. He began to feel more positive about Betty Jo. He began to sense genuine appreciation for his hard work, but it had not worked as well for Betty Jo. But words of affirmation were not her primary love language. Her language was quality time. I got back on the phone and thanked Bill for his efforts in the past 2 months. I told him that he had done a good job of verbally affirming Betty Jo and that she had heard his affirmations. But Dr. Chapman, he said, she is still not very happy and I don't think things are very much better for her. You're right, I said, and I think I know why. The problem is that I suggested the wrong love language. Bill hadn't the foggiest idea what I meant. I explained that what makes one person feel loved emotionally is not always the thing that makes other people feel loved emotionally. He agreed that his language was words of affirmation. He told me how much that had meant to him as a boy and how good he felt when Betty Jo expressed appreciation for the things he did. I explained that Betty Jo's language was not words of affirmation but quality time. I explained the concept of giving someone your undivided attention, not talking to her while you read the newspaper or watch television, but looking into her eyes, giving her full attention, doing something with her that she enjoys doing and doing it wholeheartedly. Like going to the symphony with her, he said. I could tell the lights were coming on in Little Rock. Dr. Chapman, that is what she has always complained about. I didn't do things with her. I didn't spend any time with her. We used to go places and do things before we were married, she said. But now you're too busy. That's her love language, all right. No question about it, Dr. Chapman. But Dr. Chapman, what am I going to do? My job is so demanding. Tell me about it, I said. For the next 10 minutes, he gave me a history of his climb up the organizational ladder, of how hard he had worked, and how proud he was of his accomplishments. He told me of his dreams for the future and that he knew that within the next 5 years he would be where he wanted to be. Do you want to be there alone or do you want to be where with Betty Jo and the children? I asked. I want her to be with me, Dr. Chapman. I want her to enjoy it with me. That's why it always hurts so much when she criticizes me for spending time on the job. I am doing it for us. I wanted her to be a part of it, but she is always so negative. Are you beginning to see why she was so negative, Bill? I asked. Her love language is quality time. You have given her so little time that her love tank is empty. She doesn't feel secure in your love. Therefore, she has lashed out at you what was taking your time in her mind, your job. She doesn't really hate your job. She hates the fact that she feels so little love come from you. There's only one answer, Bill, and it's costly. You have to make time for Betty Jo. You have to love her in the right love language. I know you're right, Dr. Chapman. Where do I begin? Do you have your legal pad handy? The one on which we made the list of positive things about Betty Jo is right here. Good, we're going to make another list. What are some things that you know Betty Joe would like you to do with her? Things she has mentioned through the years. Here's Beer's list. Take our RV and spend the weekend in the mountains, sometimes with the children and sometimes just the two of us. Meet her for lunch at a nice restaurant or sometimes even at McDonald's. Get a babysitter and take her out to dinner, just the two of us. When I come home at night, sit down and talk with her about my day and listen as she tells me about her day. She doesn't want me to watch TV while we are trying to talk. Spend time talking with the children about their school experiences. Spend time playing games with the children. Go on a picnic with her and the children on Saturday. And don't complain about the ants and the flies. Take a vacation with the family at least once a year. Go walking with her and talk as we walk. Don't walk ahead of her. These are things that she has talked about through the years, she said. You know what I'm going to suggest, don't you, Bill? Do them, he said. That's right, one a week for the next 2 months. Where will you find the time? You will make it. You are a wise man, I continued. You would not be where you are if you were not a good decision maker. You have the ability to plan your life and to include Betty Joe in your plans. I know, he said, I can do it. And Bill, this does not have to diminish your vocational goals. It just means that when you get to the top, Betty Joe and the children will be with you. A central aspect of quality time is togetherness. I do not mean proximity. Togetherness has to do with focused attention. That's what I want more than anything. Whether I'm at the top or not, I want her to be happy, and I want to enjoy life with her. I want her to be happy, and I want to enjoy life with her and the children. The years have come and gone. Bill and Buddy Joe have gone to the top and back, but the important thing is they have done it together. The children have left the nest, and Bill and Betty Joe agree that these are the best years ever. Bill has become an avid symphony fan, and Betty Joe has made an ending list in her legal pad of things she appreciates about Bill. He never tires of hearing them. He has now started his own company and is near the top again. His job is no longer a threat to Betty Joe. She is excited about it and encourages him. She knows that she is number one in his life. Her love tank is full, and if it begins to get empty, she knows that a simple request on her part will get her Bill's undivided attention.